Hello, ladies. This is the Creator Studio. I am Karen Ray, the founder here at the Faith Biz Society. And we have these lovely creator studios to come and learn, to gather, to grow together, and to share learn some new skills. And I'm so excited tonight to share Wonderful Morrison with you. And what we're going to be learning about is marketing strategies for the unseen generation. And we have been chatting about this a bit on our in the Wonderful's Accelerator. And I'm so excited that we're bringing this to all of you too, because it's really quite, it'll kind of make you start thinking differently about how you are marketing to your client. So Wonderful, go ahead and take it away.
Let me unmute myself here. Hello, lovely ladies. Hello, my ageless perennial generation ladies. Like she said, my name is Wonderful Morrison. It is my birth name, not a stage name. Always got to start with that. Thank you, Karen, first of all, for bringing just an amazing group of ageless women together. You didn't even know that's what you were doing, but that's what you're doing. And I'm really just happy to be here to share. You guys, I'm so freaking excited to share. I don't even know how to contain myself right now. So I'm just like, ugh. But I'm going to take a breath and just walk you through my findings. So tonight, I'm here to shed some light on this ageless generation, also known as the perennial generation, because women over 40 plus are the most unseen and invisible group of people that no one markets to. So 90% of brands don't care about us. Is that crazy? That's just insane. And so I'm here to give you some information on why and how that this ageless generation is critical to your business growth, to your brand visibility, to your recognizability in the marketplace, because there's 8 billion people on Earth. And I will be sharing some statistics with you that'll be extremely relevant to your marketing strategy. And it'll really help you get clear on your target market or redefine your target market, right? And I'm going to also show you some marketing strategies that have brought, I'm going to share with you some marketing strategies that are have been successful for a lot of businesses out there. And it's in a format of storytelling. Anybody know what that is? Okay, see, you're all just brilliant ladies. Storytelling shows us that it is 40% more effective in the marketplace than just digital, visual, or content creating, right? So marketing is a form of storytelling. And that's how I'm going to help you walk through the information that you're going to learn through the statistical formats that I'm going to show you tonight. And it's modeled after a gentleman named Joseph Campbell. He was a researcher, professor of mythology. Patricia knows because she's been at this for 50 years, right? And he created this thing called a hero's journey. And a hero's journey is a cyclical map of how all human beings make it through a struggle, get through a struggle, who helps them through the struggle, and then how we end that struggle. And then it goes back again in a cycle, the different stages of human existence, right? So, and then Donald Miller rewrote that same hero's journey in this thing called the story brand. So I infused both of those ideas, and I'm going to walk you through a 7-frame, which people who've worked with me, there's a few ladies who've worked with me here. I use this framework over and over and over again. It's a duplicatable framework that once you've gotten it down, you could reuse it in any area of your business for marketing. And then by the end, the hope is all this information and some of this implementation will fire you up to such a degree that you might not sleep tonight. Okay, take it back, you will. However, it'll fire you up to get you really geared up and very clear about the direction that you want to take your business, because what the measurement of business is income, right? And how do we know we're creating income is because we're bringing people on board and we're serving them to our greatest capacity for what they need. That's the exchange. That's the energy exchange of wealth creation in a business. And that's how business is measured across the board when it comes to tax paying and, you know, all that fun stuff. So that's what I'm here to help you really see. And then by the end, I really hope that you'll feel validated, because ladies, you are part of the unseen, invisible generation. 90% of the largest brands in the world don't see us. Tonight, I hope you'll feel validated by the end, that who you are, who you're becoming, and who you will be will matter to all of us. Because here's the thing, they're not coming. They're not coming to save us. They're not going to market to us. There's too much money in the millennials. Wait till you see the numbers. So untrue. But we need to show up for ourselves and for our generation, because no one else is going to come get us. No one else is going to market to us. So we need to market to each other. So, and then my hope is also that by the end, you'll allow me to help you build out your brand strategy and your marketing strategies. So with that being said, let's get started. I'm going to share with you my stuff, all my stuff. All right, we are going to start here. Do you notice that I use the colors and fonts that most appeal to my generation? Yes, because we are a generation that needs to be reached. So why are women critical to your brand success? Because here's the truth. Ageless marketing is a marketing based not on age, but on values. How many of you ladies feel that? How many of you ladies know that you're in business not because you want to, like, your motivation isn't to make a ton more money? Because trust me, all of you have already hit success in your businesses and in your lives. You're just trying to create more of that success through your businesses, correct? And so we are about values. So the way that marketing has been taught through generations, I am a product of a business degree. The way I was taught marketing was all about quantitative, qualitative research, marketing, right? We're looking for competitive analysis, marketing analysis, all of those things. But our generation gives 8 shits about values. That's what we care about. We care about the value and how we bring meaning into the world. We care about impact. We are a very socially conscious generation. We're very educated generation. We are friends with our adult children, and we're still caring for our elderly parents. We're considered the sandwich generation. So I put here the poem written by Khalil Gibran about time, because time is immeasurable, but it's also measurable. Time is also flowing, but it stands still. Time is thing you can embrace, and it's boundless, but it's also limited and rigid. It's all those things. We are all those things. Those are the things our generation deeply cares about. So with that, I'm going to walk you through this 7-step framework. Ladies who've done classes with me, who knows about this? Raise your hand. The 7-step framework is a way for you to break up how you communicate your content to your ideal clients. Because right now, how we're doing it is sort of called a mishmash. Would you agree? You all mishmash all of your stuff. You mishmash your social media, you mishmash your marketing campaigns, your emails, right? Your live videos. You kind of mishmash it, hoping somebody will pick up on what you're saying. And the truth is I love the storytelling aspect. Now, my beautiful friend Tammy, she's been in the industry of marketing like forever. She learned marketing and teaches marketing on a various different levels. I only go one way, right? My favorite way, storytelling way. And this is my framework. Now, it's not the end all be all way of marketing, but it is an effective way to market. So we're going to walk through all of this. So if you've printed it out, My hope is that you all fill this out as we go through this class. And if you're not, just get a clean sheet of paper, because every single page will address the questions that this 7-part framework will talk to you about. And by the time we get through the end, the words that you've placed in here will help you really solidly get your content together, how you will structure your social media strategy, your copy, and all of the things that communicate what you do for the people who need you. Because here's what I know to be true. I'm guessing that 100% of you communicate your product description or your service description. When people ask you what you do, you describe the description of your work or your services or your products, because it's very relevant. We all want to know the vitamins that we're popping in our mouth comes from some tree branch in Brazil and all of the good stuff, right? We all want to know when Victoria tells us about money, which bank it's not some bank that she made up, right? Like, it's places we actually have heard of. But those are describing the products that your businesses belong in. They rarely describe the value of what your ideal clients will get. And knowing Ageless Generation, we're the generation of non-bullshit. I apologize for my harsh language. If that offends you, please write me a letter later. But I want to say that we are the generation of no bullshit. We were the generation that watched the Berlin Wall go down, and we're the same generation that also watched troops be sent to the desert, right? We're also the generation that brought up MTV, and we're also the generation that started TV dinners, right? So when you think of the cluster of what we've experienced just in our lifetime, we have more information than any other generation that's ever existed in terms of growth in the economy and in the world, and also the worst wars, right? In terms of technology and gas. Oh my gosh, Victoria told me the other day she was getting gas and it cost her like $2,000. It's ridiculous. She's in California, y'all. Okay, I'm kidding. It wasn't $2,000. It was like $100 or something like that. I don't know. So here's the truth. Check this out. The global spending that women have control over is $31.8 trillion. What in the world? And they don't talk to us? They do not talk to us, and we're in control of $31.8 trillion. But let's just talk about America, because that's where probably predominantly most of our businesses are happening, is in the US, right? Here's the actual numbers that were just printed last year. This is 2020 numbers on spending in the US. And there's so much more, but I just didn't want to bore you all with all of that. I just wanted to bore you with the ones that mattered, right? And here's the truth. There's 330 million people in America. 165 million of them are women. That makes up half. We have 85% of consumer spending. Insanity that were ignored. The purchasing power of US women are between 5 and 15 trillion annually. And that's just stuff that they can actually document. Think of all the other wild things that we just buy on the whim, right? We control 60% of the personal wealth in the US. Trust me, ladies, there's enough business for every single one of us. We just need to know who we're talking to. 50% of traditional male products are purchased by us. Are you kidding me? And Toyota doesn't care about me? Unbelievable. Right? If Tesla marketed to me on a regular basis, I'd probably own one. But I don't, because I don't really care about Tesla, right? Because they don't care about me. So think about that. Look at this. Approximately 40% of US working women out earn their husbands, and we're not marketing to them. 40% of the population of 330 million people out earn their husbands, and who are we marketing to? So I want you to look at your current marketing plan or strategy. I want you to go into your social media right now, and I want you to look at the words you use. Are you using words for women in this demographic? And if you're not, take a pile of money and burn it. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm being harsh. I'm sorry. But some of you think I'm funny, and that's good. Okay. 1 in 4 American women are over 40 years old. We are currently the most powerful buying force right now, right? So there's always power that comes up. Baby boomers, millennials, Gen X. So all of the brands are marketing the millennials or the baby boomers. That's because that's where they think it is. That's why we have so much power, because we have all this money and we don't know where to put it. So that means that 25% of the population has a ton of money and bored. What are we doing with that? So I want you to think about that. I know it sounds comical, but it really isn't. These are real numbers. Look at your current marketing plan and your current brand strategy, and is it addressing these women? Because if it isn't, we need to. It's critical for our business success. Patricia, I want you to stop nannying. I want you to start selling your healing process to these women, truly. Because guess what these women want? They want to be healed. You know why? Because all we care about is creating more in life. This generation of women are not old by any means. That's just a number to us, right? We are young, we're fruitful, and we want more out of life, not because to attain more or to grab more, because we're looking for purpose. We want to create meaning. We're not trying to write a new chapter. We're trying to write a new book. That's what we're doing. We're done with chapters. We wrote all of those. It's now part of another book. So we need to address that. All right, here we go. Just a couple more statistics and we'll start working on the 7-part framework, I promise. So who are they? Who are these women? Who are perennials? Who is the ageless generation? Well, we are women between 40 and I'd say 65. And they're gauging it based on years that they were born, right? So baby boomers have a particular age time that they were born, Gen X time they were born. So that's what they're gauging the ageless generation around. But based on what I know in the world, I'd go to 65 on this perennial generation. And a woman named Gina Pell coined this in 2015. She considers us the perennials because guess what perennial flowers are? Who are flower people up in here? I'm not a flower person, so I didn't even know what perennials were, honestly. But you flower people know that perennials are ever blooming. They're constantly relevant every season. They never fade, right? And this is us. We stay current with technology. We have friends of all ages. Who here are friends with their adult children? But were you friends with your moms the way you are with your children now? No. Exactly, right? That makes you even more unique of a generation. We get involved, we stay curious, we mentor others, we're extremely passionate, compassionate, creative, confident, collaborative, but mostly we're global-minded risk takers. We are not this version written right here is not the way media shows us who we are. And is that infuriating? Absolutely. Because it's kind of like, why is the only thing you're showing me are either we're sipping tea together in some corner that people forgot, or we're just trying to control our teenage kids? That's not true. We're so much more than that, right? We're hikers, adventurers, explorers, travelers. We like new things. We like to meet gurus. We like to be healed. We like to shop. We like to drink wine. God forbid somebody show a middle-aged woman drinking wine in media sometime. That's not there because they're depressed. right? But we're also not delusional about our age. We're not under any illusion that we're not also very, very clear about mental health issues. We're a very socially conscious group of people. And here's how this marketing company described us. She's a mother or not with toddlers or grandchildren. She could be your neighbor, your boss, your intern. She's beautiful. She's sexy. She knows what she wants. She's funny and sincere. She's lived and she's still living. She is a woman over 40. These words right here, if they're not in your marketing campaigns, if they're not in your content, they need to be. Because women you're trying to market to, we're done being told everything is sad. We know. Come on, we were around during Beirut. I was in a private school in the Philippines when they were trying to banish, who uses that word in government anymore? Banish the president of that country. We've been through some things. So we know who we are and what we want, but people are marketing to us like we're decrepit and just forgetful and forgotten, right? So it's really important for us because here's why we're no longer the older women fading in the background, because we've got women like Michelle Obama and Julia Roberts, and who can forget Jennifer Lopez at halftime, and countless older women continuing to have successful careers. There is a list of Hollywood entertainers who are well in their mature age that are still killing it. But interesting, no one markets to her. All right, so now let's get started on the 7-part framework. Let's answer that very first question. Who are your ideal target market aspiring to become? Who are they aspiring to be? Think about that and listen to the statistics of these ageless generation. 80% of women over 40 feel younger, cooler, or sexier than they expected to feel at this age. Who are the women you're trying to reach, aspiring to be? 80% felt that society's assumptions about middle-aged women do not accurately reflect who we actually are. True? Absolutely. Have you guys gone through Canva and looked for images of middle-aged women? It is painful. Absolutely painful. We can't find ourselves on those things, right? Who are the women who are your ideal target market aspiring to be? 2/3 of us, right? Of what was the statistic here? There's 165 million of us in the US. 2/3 of us feel that we are in the prime of our lives. Who are the women that you serve aspiring to be? 59% felt as vibrant and as young as ever. 84% says they do not define themselves by their age. Who are the women you're trying to reach, aspiring to be? 90% of these women think that they have a younger attitude than their mother's generation did at the exact same age. You all, I used to think 40 was old. I'm about to be 50 and I'm like, wow, I feel 35. Right? Who am I aspiring to be? I'm aspiring to be a woman who matters and creates meaning and impact in the world through my business and how I serve the women that I care for. That's who I'm aspiring to be. So when people are trying to market to me or, right, they're trying to talk to me, if it's about a woe is me thing, I am out. I'm out. Like within seconds, I'm like done. Because I know what hard life looks like. I know what it is to work hard, but I want you to tell me what that would look like on the other side. What would that mean if I invested my hard-earned $5,000 in you? Where would that bring me to the other side? If you can't communicate that to me, I'm not interested. Because I'm aspiring to be a woman that wants to keep her intelligence intact. I'm a woman aspiring to always be known as a knowledgeable human being. And we can't disrespect ourselves by assuming in our language that the women we're trying to reach don't have a clue about what they want, because that's not true. Our generation knows exactly what we want. No one just talks to us about it. So give yourself a moment and write down who you think your ideal target market is aspiring to be. That was question 1 in the framework. Are they aspiring to be the best moms in the world? Are they aspiring to be, you know, owning 3 homes? Who are these women aspiring to be? Like when Joanne said she serves women over 40 who wants to lose weight. Why? Why do they want to lose weight? That's a more important question to ask to create your content in than what you do. Because what you do matters less to women than what they can become because of you, right? So remember, we're a value-driven group of people. Talk about the value that they're getting. So then what is the problem? That's question number 2 in the framework. I'm just going to go back through the framework here. That's what we're working here, right here. We just went through who they're aspiring to be. Now, what is their problem? All people will pay attention to an external problem. Weight loss, that's an external problem. But people buy an internal problem, not an external one. 99.9%. If we have the buying power of 83% of the money right now, what is the internal problem of your ideal target market? Because if you're sharing only the external problem you think they have, which is weight loss, they're not going to buy. People will buy what their internal problem is. And you know why people want to lose weight over 40? Because they don't want to care about how tight that strap's going to be when they're ziplining. Because when they're on an adventure and they're about to pay $70 in Mexico to zip line across the jungle, the last thing they want to care about is the muffin top. That's an internal problem. That's how they'll buy your program, because internally you're addressing that issue, not the weight loss, right? So with that being said, let's go over here. Here's what American women over 40 are not. We are not just moms cleaning in heels. We are not obsessed with counting wrinkles, but we care about wrinkles. So stop telling me I'm obsessed about it. Tell me why I don't want it. I don't want wrinkles because it's the one thing I don't want to think about when I am showing you my selfie on a beach in Maui. That's why I don't want wrinkles. I don't want, right? She's not shrinking Violet behind her hubby making retirement plans. No, if 40% of America out-earns their husbands, this is the false statement, right? So tell that woman that her money goes into retirement for the next half of fun. That money you're putting away is for fun. You're not leaving it for your children. Okay, some people are, but really that's not what our generation is thinking about. They're thinking about how many more cruises they're going to take. They're thinking about what other more countries they can zip line in, right? That's what they want to use their money for. Talk about that. Here's another thing American women are not: comparing themselves to the Pinterest perfect neighbor. You know what 40-year-old women are really thinking? How cool it is that the other 40-year-old is pretty awesome. We really love to uplift each other, but media depicts us as a comparing kind of people. That's kind of the millennials. They're very comparative happy. But we are very much like, we want everybody to succeed. You succeed, I succeed, we succeed. We're very collaborative kind of people, right? So it's really important. Now, I'm not saying that for everyone. There are some groups of people this matter to in business. It really does, right? So think about your ideal target market. This is a very generic version of your ideal target market. Think about your ideal target market and what is their external problem. And then what is their internal problem? And that is the answer. So take a moment and think about that. So I'm going to give you an example of mine. My target market are women entrepreneurs. But now it's going to be clearly defined as women entrepreneurs over 40, because they're my favorite and they're just like me. And who they're aspiring to be are women that want to be seen and respected for who she is and who she's becoming. And their external problems that they're challenged with is that they're misunderstood, that they're misrepresented, that they're underestimated. But the truth is, the underlying internal problem of women entrepreneurs 40 and over is that they're being pigeonholed and stereotyped. And I'm here to change all that. I'm here to take that box and burn it to the ground, because we need to do business how we do it in the most authentic way. Because here's the truth, ladies. Business runs on 4 pillars only: operations, sales, marketing, finance, and leadership. Those never change, no matter what industry you're in, no matter if you're 20 years old or 80 years old. Those 4 pillars belong in every single business: operations, sales and marketing, finance, and leadership. How those work in your business is your business, not mine. I'm here to show you the infrastructure and all of the planning for your business, and then you go create it. When you're following a cookie cutter diagram or system, because this is how social media should look, you're actually undermining your own intelligence, because that's not true, right? And you know how you'll know is based on engagement. You know how you'll know is whether, right? The whole purpose of likes in social media and in engagement when people respond is that you're relevant to what matters to them. That's what businesses should use social media for. Your relevancy to what matters to your ideal target market. It's not a photo album. It's to have relevancy to their problems so they buy your programs. That's the whole point of it. Okay, now let's keep moving, because I could talk about this forever. How will you guide them? That's the next question. Now, how you will guide them is broken up in 2 parts: empathy and authority. So empathy is knowing that women 40, 50, 60, and 70 years old, ladies, it is not a moment. We are a movement. We are coming at 83 million deep. There's 83 million of us that is not heard and that are not seen. We are not a moment. We're a movement. How are we empathetic to that? Based on your expertise, based on your business, how do you show and communicate empathy to understanding that we are 83 million deep, trying to create a meaningful, purposeful life in the world today? We need to communicate that with boldness, with power, and unapologetically. Ladies, menopause, who's running into this situation called menopause? It's a $600 billion industry. But guess what menopause is? One aspect of a woman's life. One. That's just one aspect of a woman's life, and it's worth $6 billion. We are not a moment. We are a movement. We are a woman group of collaboration, not competition. We actually can't stand competition. You know why? Because it's a masculine kind of dick swinging thing. I apologize for that language again. I'm sorry. We are very collaborative. We want community. We want society. We want that whole tribal feeling, right? We want that. We value that because we are a generation of friends. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad you're not like, oh, I'm so sorry. Sometimes it just rolls off. I'm a sentence enhancer kind of person, and it just rolls and then I can't reel it back in. So thank you so much for loving me anyways. So how will you guide them? What's your empathy piece, and how are you an authority in your industry? Because I'm guessing, ladies, when Patricia said she's been doing this 50 years, that's authority. She has full authority over what she teaches because she's been doing it for 50 years. And if anybody wants to argue that, bye, see you later, alligator. There's 83 million of us waiting to be marketed to. We need to be bold. We need to take this thing seriously. We need to do it unapologetically. Men do it all day long. They give two hoots about what you think about them as long as you're paying them, right? We need to have the same attitude, but we do it from a space of love because that we can't change about us. So how will you guide them? What's your empathy and what is your authority? Even if you just started your business yesterday, I'm pretty sure you've been doing that thing you're doing in your business for like 20 years. I'm just saying. Okay. Now, the next question is, what's the plan? Who here loves complicated plans? Raise your hand if you love complicated plans. Oh, I see no hands. So don't complicate your plans. Make your plans simple and easy for people to follow. Don't send people a 20-step system. I can help you lose weight in 20 steps. Oh my God, you lost me at 5. Do it in 3 or 7. And here is a follow. Here is what we know about these ageless women. You need to include her. You know how we include women? Make them a part of your story. So I'm going to give you an example. Karen and I have been working together for 1.5 years now. And she says to me one day, she was wonderful. I just don't think I'm being vulnerable enough. And I'm like, oh, you want to tell them what color underwear you're wearing? Like, how vulnerable are we talking here? Right. And she just couldn't wrap her head around it. But here's the truth about that vulnerability. We feel sometimes we're not vulnerable because we have to share every part of our story. That's not the challenge. The challenge is making the women who are our ideal target market a part of our story. The story has to be about them, not us. Yay, we made it through the dark shadows of, what is it called? The dark night of the soul. That's what I've been fighting the last 3 years, the dark night of the soul. I made it, yay me. How interesting would that be if that's all I ever talked about? But if I understand you too have been through the dark night of the soul and you completely understand what that means, the story becomes us. The story becomes about we. Your content needs to talk about that. That's a story you tell. Why does Joanne want to help people lose weight? There's 8 other billion businesses she could start. That's the one she lost weight in because she has a story, but that story has to include the people who want it too. It can't just be about you. You have to be inclusive. Include her. Include your ideal target market in your story. Number 2, cast her. Remember what we talked about? We can't find middle-aged women that are cool on Canva. That's right, because 40-year-old plus women are not just moms. We're not just moms. Stop just showing that, right? We need to show them that we swim, that we paddleboard, that we ride bikes, that we like Pelotons. Okay, one of my clients just gave me a Peloton for payment, which I accepted gladly. Oh my God, that thing is so hard. I only did 20 minutes and I thought I was going to die. But guess what Peloton shows me? My daughter. That's how they're telling me. That's why I never bought it, because it's like, I look like my daughter 20 years ago. I don't want to look like that now. I'm just trying to get rid of 10 pounds, not 80. You see what I'm saying? Like, cast her, show the different sides of you. This is that vulnerability piece that you think you're not showing, but then you don't want to show too much of. That's the part. Cast yourself in the story you're telling about the women you serve. Take a stand. Ladies, okay, I'm going to find somebody else in the group, because the reason I keep showing Joanne, because they're the only ones I see right now. Ladies, okay, Nicole, my favorite. Here we go. Nicole loves everything tech, right? Like, that's her business of all of the businesses, because I'm pretty sure Nicole is also good at a bunch of other things, but she only wants to teach about technology. When she takes a stand for technology, she builds credibility for us, because she says, no, you don't have to be 20 to understand technology. You can be 50 and do really well with technology. That's taking a stand, right? Diane over here, Rambo, she is all about parents with autistic children. When she takes a stand for that parent who is losing their mind when they're trying to go to Europe for a good time, she takes a stand for that. She builds credibility. When you take a stand, when people who are shy about sharing their age, oh, I don't want to share my age, but I take a ton of collagen. Share your age, because you're taking a stand for the 60-year-old, 83 million 60-year-olds that also want to look young, right? We're not, ladies, you're all such beautiful humans with such incredible passion to share. We just need to take it up a notch, go a little bolder, go a little bit more unapologetic. Just tell people, right? Because here's the thing, when you don't, you actually don't respect her. Because if you're not showing up in a bold way, you're doing just like 90% of the brands are doing. Assuming and underestimating and misunderstanding what a 40-plus-year-old woman is. When we don't boldly stand for our businesses so they can have the joy we have in our businesses, we're doing just like every other brand out there, ignoring them. And they are in control of $32 trillion. Okay, I'm moving on. Recognize diversity. Now, I'm not talking about diversity the way we see it online right now. I'm talking about diversity right here on the screen. I want you to look at your screen and look at the diverse women that are here. This is the diversity I'm talking about. The diversity in age, the diversity in background, the diversity in education. We don't talk about that. We just talk about, well, I have a great story. Udit has got an incredible story. The journey to where she got to today, that's a story that needs to be told, because I know like 8 Reiki healers, but I like Udit because I know her story. Do you see where I'm going with that? Your industry, you're not the only one. There's thousands of you in your industry. How do you stand out in a marketplace of 4 billion people? Diversity. And then let's tell everybody we also have fun. Stop taking everything so seriously. Is autism a serious subject? Absolutely. But guess what? Diane also has a ton of fun, right? Business is a serious, it is like reading textbooks. That's what business structure is. It's like textbook. People who've gone through my class are like, oh my gosh, we're doing a whole day of competitive analysis. What do you even know? Right? Like, that doesn't sound fun, but it's important for you to have that information. So we got to show people that business can be fun. What you do can be fun. That laying on a massage bed being Reiki'd is fun. That cleaning out your emails with Nicole for hours on end is actually really fun, even though it doesn't sound like it, right? And then don't isolate us. We cannot be pigeonholed. Just because I initially went to college to be a journalist so I could be a war correspondent does not mean that that's all I ever am, will ever be, nor is that anything I ever want to do now. No, my degree does not define me. My 20 years of brick and mortar business doesn't even define me. I don't even tell people what my business was that I built at 20 years because you can't pigeonhole me. I am a whole load of fun and I'm a whole load of serious, right? I love God and I love to cuss. Like, oh my goodness. Don't isolate. Don't pigeonhole your ideal target market. Don't think just because they're aspiring to be the best email cleaner of their business that that's all they are, right? And then be honest. Because here's the thing about our generation. We are not easily offended. You cannot hurt our feelings. Leave that for the millennials. We're not easily, right? And we're not easily swayed into things because we've been through enough world leaders that have lied to us. We're not easily persuaded into just because you're pitching us. So ladies, if this is you, don't pitch. Stop pitching to people. Stop only sharing your products and services. Share the real human version of you. Because if we are a group of women that don't like to be BS'd, or do we BS? Why are we doing it? Don't do. And you know how you know? The income bracket based on your business. Because the measure of business is money. And money is how many people you attract into your business that buy your products. So if your business is not producing the income you'd like it to be, you need to start talking in a way that communicates to the women you serve in an honest, real, authentic way. Tell them the truth, right? When Karen's on those sales calls, when women are like, well, I don't know if the group that, your group is for me. What group right now is working for you? Like, how's that working for you? If a woman can answer that truthfully and be like, oh, I belong to 8 groups and 7 of them are I just get so much business out of 7. Karen can honestly say, you know what? This is not a networking group. It's a community-based group. We're here to lift each other up. And honestly, pitching isn't even a thing we do. We don't do those kind of things. We are a group of like-minded women creating impact in the world. Does that sound like a group that you'd want to be a part of? That's honest, that's bold, and that's truthful. Because women, when we go around talking about, well, did you get your COVID weight? Yes, I have COVID weight. Just tell me how I can get rid of it, right? Tell me that if I take a liquid spoonful of something, that somehow my skin will tighten so that I don't worry about it when I'm taking selfies on a beach in Maui. Do you see where I'm going with this? So how will you give them a plan? And please don't make it a 20-step thing. Make it between 3 and 7. 10 is doable, but think about how many things you think about in a day. Could you really hold on to 10 steps? Your clients are just the same. They're just as busy as you are. Stop overwhelming their lives with more things to do. Your actual responsibility as a business owner is to improve their lives, increase the productivity of their lives. And you don't do that by teaching them a 20-step system. Break it up. Break up your system. If it's a 20-step system right now, break it up. And plus, then you have more products to sell. Okay. That's just a whole nother thing. Last but not least, what results will they get? By working with you, by using your products, by cleaning out their households of less plastic, what results do they really get? Think about the internal problem that they're having. So Tina's ideal target market are struggling with not ruining the earth for the kids that they're not going to meet, right? That's what they're concerned about. They're concerned about, like, if I keep buying bottles of water from Costco at 100 cases a load, my great-great-grandchildren could literally be part of Terminator, right? These are the women that she talks to. That's what they're worried about. So what results will they get by hiring you to come in for 2 hours and talking about that stuff? Because here's the thing, 40-year-old women are not typical women. We're not just green. We're not just all vegan. We're not just all meat eaters. We're not all just keto. We're all of those things. Who here has tried that intermittent fasting? And also in the same breath, you tried keto. And also in the same breath, you tried that meat one. I can't even remember what that's called. Who's also tried the butter one. I mean, we are these women. Did you know that more than 100,000 women over 40 become mothers every year? Diane, that is your target market right there. 100,000 women. And honestly, you only need 5, right? Like your business couldn't serve 100,000 women as of current, but it can someday. We don't stop being moms just because our kids are grown up. Remember that first question I asked all of you? Who here are friends with their adult children? We don't just stop being moms. We have the same worries with 20-year-olds as we do with 10-year-olds. It's just a different scenario. Same worries, right? Being 40 is nothing like we expected. I can clearly remember looking at my mom when she was 48 going, gosh, she's old. Now I'm 48 and I'm like, I am not old. 40 was nothing like we expected. 50 was nothing like we expected. 60 is definitely not anything we expected. So quit making those assumptions through your marketing to the women you serve. Women over 40 are extremely passionate. And we're not talking passion like poetry kind of passion. We're talking about we go all in. We are an all-in group of women. We didn't decide to be business owners for shits and giggles. We decided to be business owners because we want to improve the world we live in and for those we'll never meet. We want meaning and purpose. That's our passion. That's what we're driven by. We're rarely driven by money. We're rarely driven by money. This group of women are driven by something so much more. Because the truth is, 99% of women over 40 have already tasted the sweet nectar of success over and over again in their careers, in their lives, in their parenting, and all of that. We just want to create more in a different arena now. And here's the thing, the sound you hear, do you hear it? That's the growing volume of voices of women over 40. That's us, ladies. When we show up boldly in the world to serve the people that need us, our voices rise together as theirs too, because then it becomes this compound effort of all of us communicating, right? Diane says in her video, she goes, she's the only credible autism travel expert in all of Vegas. Las Vegas is literally the city of tons of people all the time that never sleep. And she's the only one. How's that possible? So one of Diane's future plans is to expand her business to then have her own program that she then gives. What is that called? License? Is it a license or what is it? I can't ever remember what it is, Diane. I'm sorry.
No, it's basically I'm with a host agency for travel. So I want to do travel on my own, but I also want to have community centers worldwide.
So what I'm saying is we are coming in giant volumes. Okay, now take a breath. That's a lot. Take a breath. Woo, ladies, it's a lot of info. And then you're looking, what do you, like Nicole asked me, now what do we do with all this information, y'all? What do we do with this information? So this right here is called a funnel. Some of you are familiar with it and some of you are not. People who've worked with me see this often. We work on a funnel all the time. So I don't call it a sales funnel or a marketing funnel anymore because I'm geared towards myself, which I want to be relational. So this is literally how you create funnels and the information you use. So stage one of a funnel is the widest mouth of this apparatus is awareness. So most of the stuff you put here are your freebies, all of your freebies, stuff that you just do, your live videos, all social media belongs in awareness, because the conversion rate of social media is not very high unless it's your exact strategy, which then takes a lot more planning than what you're doing now. So then stage two is when they consider you. When they consider you, it's like when you clicked onto this button and thought, oh my gosh, what is she talking about? 40-year-olds? I'm in, right? You considered showing up. That's stage two. Those are things you offer that people are just considering when you ask them to do something. So my beautiful friend Colleen has some of the best posts. Her posts are just always so like motivational. And then she shows pictures of people going from like tights, loose skin to tight skin. That's the part of consideration, but we need to move your people, Colleen, to desire. And how do we move people to desire is to tell them to come to something, to go look at your website, to look at your free PDFs, to do a one-on-one call with you, right? Don't just stop. You guys, we got to stop posting all these amazing things and then leaving them there. Bye. It's literally like if you went into a personal stylist at Nordstrom's and they brought you 3 outfits and never came back. That's what we're doing with our social media, is we're giving them all this information and then we never invite them to anything. Send them to your groups, send them to your friends group, send them to this thing. How many of you have ideal target markets right now that could have benefited from this class and you didn't invite them? You have to nurture your people by giving them more information, because people never buy your products or service. People buy you 100% of the time. Because if they were only buying your service or product, guess how many people are in your industry? Thousands. Right? You know how many business coaches there are? Tons. Tons of them. Right? But people buy me because everything I teach is Googleable. You know how Googleable this is? You Google this and then have your own template. But unless you know how to use it and what to do with it, how it improves your business, it's just one more piece of paper on your desk, right? Then you got to move them to stage 4, which is purchase, which is usually an invitation. It's not a pitch. My beautiful friend Mary has just been recognized as one of the top salespeople in slang and jewelry. You guys, she sells beautiful jewelry. Oh, I should have worn what you sent me, Mary. Totally forgot. And because she invites people, right? She doesn't pitch people. Don't pitch people. And how you know you're pitching people is because you're only talking about your service product. When you invite them to things like, hey, oh my gosh, I belong to this group and there's this free class. Would you like to come check it out? It's women. It's somebody talking about women over 40. It's free. That's an invitation. That's an invitation to purchase. For you guys who are in a direct sales, who don't invite your teams to programs that can enhance their business, you're not building the team. You're selling your products. And that takes way longer to scale than building a team. Because when you're selling one at a time, you've got to do that 8 hours a day, 7 days a week to come up with the money that you want to, versus building a team who's doing exactly what you're doing. Right? And then the last piece is loyalty. My business is built on this thing called loyalty, and it started with this beautiful woman named Melissa. She went to one of my programs. She fell in love with it. She meets all kinds of business coaches. Like, this woman knows more people than the Pope. she meets all kinds of people, and then she knows a lot of business people, and she still brings people to me. Because loyalty isn't about being the best at what you do. It's serving at the best of your capacity. When people are loyal to you, it's because you've served them over and over again without anything and expecting anything in return. When we give, we gain. The more that you give your time, your energy, your resources, and your products to people that matter to you, the more you'll gain, because they will, one person knows 250 people and they have the influence of 50% of 250 people. Thanks to Melissa, my business has been intact for 3 years. And then Diane brings me people, and Tina brings me, and Mary brings me people. Because then there's a trust factor. People talk about know, like, and trust all the time, but they don't create it in their business. It starts here. Build a funnel of know, like, and trust, and your business will grow. Okay. And last but not least, I would love to help you build this. I have a 4-week program that I just built for this specifically because I was so excited about this Ageless Generation. I'm like, oh my gosh. And that's what I would love for you to partake in. And it's the investment, the time investment is just 1 hour. Well, actually it's 90. I like to do 90 minutes because obviously I can't just talk for an hour. Ugh, I'm trying to control that. So 90 minutes, that involves, then we can have Q&A and all of that good stuff and all that fun stuff. And then we do a one-on-one with each other. I always feel like you learn this as a group, but then how do you effectively implement it if you don't do one-on-one with the person who's teaching you, right? And then with that being said, just for this group, because I love you all so much, right? I told my son is my team member. Normally it's $1,000 and I'm giving it to everybody at half off. It's $500. So that is what I want to give you. I think I'm done. I mean, I could keep talking, but I want you to ask me questions. Does anybody have any questions, Q&A, anything you want me to clarify, any comments you want to drop on me?
Wonderful. I just wanted to thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recordings and we'll do our Q&A. Yeah.